All right, I'll go. Welcome to United Rogue Overwatch. We got Utah Craze and Chicago Syndicate coming in. On first map, Ilios.
Oh, what's going on here in the booth with Boy Wonder, Arunos here casting first time for United Rogue. We have big news. We have Akashi here. We weren't expecting to see Akashi tonight, but Akashi has made an appearance. I don't know, it was PC trouble or something like that going on, but he has made it through, and we will be seeing his trademark Genji here on Ilios.
Now, I think it's going to be interesting, the Arissa coming into the Hog here. If we'll be able to see if he gets that hook off, or if it's just going to be control best.
I mean, Arissa is currently considered to be the closest thing you've got to an S-tier tank, depending on what tier lists you look at. But here we go. Let's see if they can get any hooks off into the pit. I mean, Chris is really looking for that Arissa hook, but Janitor is, as you'll notice, Janitor is not pushing, at least trying not to push without any cooldowns up. But the moment that Chris can get that hook off, there's one, and Ferb will be the first to fall to the pit. Great hook there by Chris. Always nice to see some hog pit action here on Ilios. It is true, they do, and I wonder whether Chris will be able to regroup with his team, or will Akashi be able to kill him. There it is. Janitor with that massive javelin out on Chris, and it looks like they're going to push him into their own spawn until they can get a regroup going. And it's interesting seeing Shiro here on Torb. I don't know if you've ever watched OG Overwatch League, but Torb was actually first played in Overwatch League on this map. A little bit of Overwatch history by Defran. That was Defran, yeah, Defran on the Torb. Chris does happen to be on point, but I think he's going to run into the moment when Utah turns around here. I think he's going to be in a bit of trouble. As I see that, just to take out Melt in the backline. Hold on. Is the Chris solo flank about to pay? Nope. I was wondering if it was about to pay dividends there, but unfortunately, Chris's hero play did not quite manage to work out. I'm sure Melt is molding though. Don't worry about it.
Grace played that pretty well. I mean, they let Hog forward, they just pushed the rest of the team, picked them all off, and then they went back around in seconds.
I mean, he is on the Zarya now. He has abandoned the Hog hook meta, and it looks like they'll be playing. There's that ult from Shiro. See if they can use that to push in. Big ult there, but unfortunately he does get shut down by Shiro, and Melt is going to look to. Yep, they managed to shut down the push with a couple with the soldiers. Nah, that is definitely gonna be first round here for Utah.
Hold it. Score 0-1.
Jeez, Shiro coming out with the calling out Akashi here in chat. I'm sure it's Akashi that we're seeing with that 10-0, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I believe I have pictures.
Ain't too shabby.
I mean, it's to be fair, I think that was a bit of a team diff there. There was a lot of work done on Melt's part. I mean, it's been a consistent strategy that UTA has managed to succeed by in previous series, where they have let people focus Akashi, and Melt focuses on getting the value while it's happening. And it's worked out for them well so far, and I don't see that stopping here. Absolutely, yeah. Violet here on that Mercy with Akashi on Echo. Let's see how that Let's see whether they manage to win that Echo duel there versus Shiro. I'm sure he'll find a bit of trouble with the pocket.
The objective is now.
Yeah, Shiro's attempting to keep a few off point. Managed to do it for a little bit, but they did manage to get the res off, and it actually looks like Dallas does take that initial point there. All they just have to hold out for this round. First map is very important in a series, and it'd be really big for them to make that statement coming right out of the gate.
My ultimate is charging. Scaling up.
They're playing a rather slow-moving comp here. I think just yep, there we go. I mean, if the moment Akashi really gets going here on someone, they're gonna find that kind of chink in the armor to slow him down.
Duplicating the
I am losing down the objective.
Yep. I mean, it is the retake here from Utah. I mean, Dallas did manage to get about half that point there. They're now going to try to push with Moira a little bit early, in my opinion, but let's see if they can actually manage to get a pick or some meaningful damage here with it. They are Melt with another visor here. Managed to get a lot of value the previous map with it. Does take down Chris. Let's see who else is going to get. Kills the Echo ult. And is he going to be able to actually DPS down Shiro?
Tear your way. Functions that teach power.
Yeah, and Echo there, Shiro on the Echo, managing to win that 1v1 against Melt, and then finishing up the kill on Violet on Mercy. Absolutely. I mean, we are seeing Janitor here manage to get that pushback on point. Akashi with the pick on Booger, and Shiro then picking Akashi. It looks like Dallas is still going to manage to hold on, though. Both teams are a little bit split, though, at the moment.
Syndicate. The other team they wasted their opportunity.
Pain is
They were down one
inevitable.
player and still pushed in. So now they're
That was just, I just want to say that was an absolutely incredible play there from Sue Jr. over there, and from their Arissa.
yeah,
That was just keeping them off a point there. That was an excellent use of abilities. Managed to make it so they wouldn't have to fight another team fight. We are now 1-1 here
I'll see this
on
matter
Helios with
resolved.
Ruin set to break the tie.
a lot of teams on this map, they love to run that Pharah Mercy. And
We used to come here on
honestly was
vacation.
surprised we don't
Let me
see
know
this.
if you need any directions.
I mean, I personally, I love seeing a little bit of that Widow here on the high ground, but see what ends up happening. Looks like Shiro here on the Soldier, character he's far more comfortable with, in my opinion. Him and Akashi will be likely dueling it out.
Get out there and do them.
Alright, so opting to go high ground left, so Arissa it's like Ooh, and
Yep.
big on the Arissa, but the trade comes in just like old time.
Shiro is doing work here. I know I've mentioned it to other people before, but Shiro's Soldier is nothing to scoff at, but he really can't aim, and if you let him go with it, I mean, he may not be considered the best soldier in the league, but he is up there with some of the better ones. You leave him alone, I mean, he's gonna get at least a pick or two. Does look like Utah, though, is holding on to this point rather well. I don't know whether Dallas is going to be able to break through. Maybe get a pick there on right side on their supports. And then there's the Akashi ult. Akashi manages to get shut down though by Chris. And Dallas will retake that point. Utah being backed up a little bit here without any DPS to cover for him. Sorry about that. Thank you. yeah, no, you're right. I got thrown off by the blue. Dallas's colors were 9:23 p.m. dude. Don't worry about it. I know who everyone is.
I can try.
Yeah, well, people are messaging me. I have you up at 200%. Let me turn it down a little bit. No. Oh.
If you know the setting for it,
Good. Having a little bit of mic trouble here for the moment.
I can just move it a little closer.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Bad.
Yep.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, and with that, Utah manages to take back point. A little bit of back and forth there, but Chicago does hold on to the vast majority of it for the moment.
Like this sword Junkrat ult. Looking for the mercy. Or not. Kashi's getting the tire to the face.
Absolutely. It does look like Chicago is a little bit better off in the team plays at the moment. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there on the part of Utah.
So far it seems Chris with the K and Salas are having a phenomenal game. They're working well together and shutting down bolts for the other team and just keeping all their team up and alive.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago so far, as team plays go, Chicago looks to be the one that's edging out Utah overall. They're going to want to take that back, but are they going to see that they're being flanked here on the left? They are, and they're going to move right to it. And Akashi immediately ults the back line, getting a pick there on Doge on the Junkrat. They're going to be able to retake point here, I think. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this off.
Orisa and 2 healers is still scary though. I wouldn't put it past them.
Janitor sadly did not get anyone with that Orisa ult. That's going to cost Utah here, I think. They're going to get the res off though, so they will be up in the fight. And they are going to be able to retake this point.
That's better.
The ult economy for Craze is now looking great though. They're gonna have to no. Oh, but it doesn't matter because 2 picks off the rip, and now it's gonna look like a stagger fest coming in to get point at the end.
I think that's going to be the round right there, and that's likely going to be the map. I don't think they're going to be able to push this with only 3 people and no tank. They're going to make an effort anyways, but I think they're going to be picked rather quickly, and that's exactly what happens. I don't know whether they'll be able to save this last point here on Ruins.
It's a very big blunder by the team. Just pushed in a little too early and it cost them.
Absolutely. Utah is going to take map 1, putting them 1-0 in the series. It is a best of 5 here in the semifinals for Emerald.
Play of the game.
Akashi play, asserting his dominance. I think I saw 15 final blows by the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's currently considered to be arguably the single best DPS in the entirety of Emerald. And I mean, if Utah can make use of that, or make use of the fact that Chicago is focusing him, it's you know, that's definitely something that would turn the tide comfortably in their favor. rather than losing a map. Not a map, but a round here or there. But Shiro in Chicago at the moment, I mean, they had them on the ropes there in almost every single map. I mean, there is none of these maps were, sorry, none of these rounds really were a sweep in either team's favor.
Yeah, Shiro had 11 himself. Like, that's not bad at all. But
No.
just really focusing on that other DPS and heals that are keeping Akashi alive might help them turn the fight first. It just depends who they're going to focus.
I mean, I can very easily see this series going to a map 5 if these two key teams continue to play better and get warm and feel each other out.
And so next map will be hybrid, right? Or is it push payload?
It is a loser's pick here. And we'll see what Chicago comes up with.
Some banter in the chat.
A little bit of discussion here on which map we're about to be seeing here, but I don't necessarily know whether really map choice is going to greatly affect the actual outcome of the match here. From what I've been seeing is that Shiro has been doing very well in DPS, right? Winning that is especially that 1v1 win on Ilios versus Soldier. I mean, I think funnily enough, even though Akashi is miles ahead of a lot of other DPS, they're actually holding rather even as far as the DPS line goes.
I mean, it was a 2-1, 99-99 game. It can't get any closer than that.
No.
And now King's Row is one of my favorite maps, and I'm really hoping that we see some Ryan gameplay. How do you feel about Ryan?
I mean, the traditional comp, it used to be, in Overwatch 1, it used to be, in fact,
Ryan
even
Czar.
somewhat disrespectful if you didn't play the Ryan Zarya mirror here on King's Row.
Now
So a
entering
lot of people,
King's Row.
do say that if you're gonna respect the map, you gotta play the Rhine, right? Gotta play your main tank here. And
Initiating
I don't necessarily know if that's something that we'll see adhered to, in the playoffs. But that's certainly something that I love to watch, is a little bit of Rhine mirror for a bit of nostalgia on Kings Row, considering it is considered a fan favorite map. In fact, it's been voted multiple times the #1 map in the entirety of Overwatch, and I can't really argue with that.
Ready for battle.
Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see a Widow 1v1 like you were talking about last map.
I mean, we do have the Widow 1v1 coming out here. Shiro, it was funny. It's pretty funny. We had Shiro versus Akashi on the Soldier last map, and now we're gonna see the trademark, the absolute monster 1v1 here between Shiro and Akashi. I wonder if they are aware that from high ground on one side to high ground on the other, that's no longer a one-shot headshot due to the changes to Widow's damage fall off over range. But we'll see what ends up happening here. I'd love to see the two of them duke it out.
Another interesting part of this match is the Alari pick. Alari hasn't come out in this match yet, and in all my ranked games, she looks phenomenal. Ooh.
She does. Boom, the first shot. There we go. Shiro falls to Akashi in the Widow 1v1, and UTA will follow it up with a pick on Chris K. Chris with a K. And it looks like UTA will likely be favored here for point A.
Just a quick camp. Honestly, the pick won them the fight. They were able to push in a lot less scared. And now that the other team swapped over on a Mei Bash, which is always scary.
Something that I really wasn't anticipating here, but we're seeing some fantastic DPS out of Crystal here. I mean, it is managing to secure not one, but multiple kills on that point A push.
Both teams fighting for space. Everybody's just poking.
True, I wonder if they've noticed yet. It does seem that they have. That Chris with a K happens to be on their own high ground shooting down on them. I wonder if he's going to manage to get any picks here. And as we said before, we hadn't seen that Alari yet. We certainly have now. There's Violet Okuma on the Alari. And the pylon is gone. Beautiful.
That May play was perfect. I mean, she's got the flank, just icicles when in danger, and able to make sure that pylon's down and walls the rest of the team, and the tank just gets taken out.
Through Melchior with a bit of a, in my opinion, preemptive Bastion ult there. He was looking for a bit of a pick. The Widow 1v1 here on high ground. May versus Widow, who's gonna win it?
Oh, Arissa's still in the back line.
And sadly, we don't get to see that 1v1 conclude. But Akashi does manage to take out Chris. Funnily enough, no longer in the 1v1, but manages to secure the kill anyways.
And that's one of the best Widow spots in the game. That little scaffolding they have on that building.
It is a little platform. A lot of people forget about it, but Akashi sure hasn't.
Big Alari ult with the flank with Akashi, but it's popped. Not looking great for the Greens.
On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, I mean, Chicago did just use both of their support ults, and it's going to be a real toss-up here whether they're going to be able to hold much longer without them.
But Blizzard is a fight changer. If Chris with a K lands a wall and a fat Blizzard, that is one of the scariest ults in the game.
True. I mean, especially on this part of the map, right? I mean, you're looking at one of the tightest corners in the entire game, and a May wall can shut off the team completely.
I will not leave a broken world behind.
It's so hard to get in the buildings in this area.
True, and Chicago are together again. There's that Blizzard going out, Haps right on the payload. Nowhere for Utah to go.
I thought the Orisa ate the Blizzard for a second. It looked really close.
It's possible. That would have been an absolute heartbreak, but an amazing play for Janitor.
But Syndicate's playing this corner extremely well. They've gotten a pick early on the flank every single fight and just turned it into a fight win. First it was Akashi and then Melt in the fight before.
True, Akashi's going on the flank here though. He's going to try to get the pick on the back line. I don't know if he's going to be able to secure anything on the Zen there. It is going to pressure them into dropping a bit.
May on high ground is scary.
It really is, and there is the Chicago Bastion play. Stopped by Suzu. Great Suzu there from Crystal.
But
amazing gameplay coming out.
Free Orisa ult and a wasted tire. Unfortunate for the side, but it's scary because Crazy's coming up on 4 ults. There's 2 for maybe 3 for Syndicate, including both support.
Smart there to not follow the Junkrat onto high ground there in an enclosed space.
Doge, in my opinion, this game is the one putting in a shift. He's keeping everybody out and capitalizing on these flanks.
Absolutely, and you know, funnily enough, I'd say that Crystal's actually doing a whole heck of a lot for Utah.
Oh, yeah.
It's very interesting seeing seeing this as it develops.
Finally getting around the corner.
True, the corner turn there, and Melt is going to get into the back line and try and take down Shiro. And once again, Chicago popping both support ults at the same time. It's the second time in a row they've done that. Then again, this could be the last team fight here if they can stave off Utah for pushing it further. Looks like they might with that pick on Janitor and Akuma.
Beautiful play by Syndicate. They've held this choke for like 4 minutes straight. They cycled their ults pretty well, and they're getting rewarded for it.
Absolutely. They're only going to have around 10 seconds more here to get to point for Utah. If they don't, I mean, that is going to be a very, very tough hold for them on point B.
Oh, he makes it!
And Akashi just manages to get in, and now Chicago is overextended and are gonna get picked out by Utah.
Wow. Just have to make sure not to C9 and 3 on car, and they might have this in OT.
That's true. What a fantastic play there from Akashi, managing to get to that point through the Bastion ult, running through the river of explosive fire.
You can't dodge Syndicate there. They kept point with like 5 minutes left, and now they're back down to 130 for final. And in my opinion, final is the hardest point to get on this one.
It really is, but I mean, they managed to get that incredible hold on point B, but I mean, Utah's reinvigorated. They managed to get that second point. I don't necessarily know whether Chicago's going to be able to hold it all the way through.
Again, another key thing we're looking for here is another Chris with a K Blizzard. And it's popped. A big Suzu and TP, and no one's caught in it.
A lot of ults coming out there, but it does look that look like after the sea of ult economy being used, that Chicago's going to come out on top. And they've only, I mean, Utah's only got 40 seconds here left. They've only got time for one more team fight, and that'll decide how far their Chicago's going to have to push in the attack.
The big thing we're looking for here is how this Ramatra is going to work. If they can get these May and Bap off high ground and force them into a position where Ramatra gets a 4 or 5K, some massive play.
I mean, their ult economy is looking a whole lot better. That's frankly, you know, them than the attack.
Oh, and now they have to face tank a Bap window. Very well played by the Baptiste to the other team. Just waiting for
Excellent. A great ult by Shiro. Fantastic pick there on Melt. But Violet does manage to get the res off. Shiro, though, takes down Janitor in the ensuing chaos on that. Lamp goes down. And it looks like Chicago's going to manage to hold out on point C here.
But it's definitely going to be an exciting turn on the offense for the Syndicate. If they keep playing as well as a team as they are now, I imagine Game 5.
You never know, a lot can happen between one round and another. But,
Score 0-2. Switching sides.
a little bit of friendly trash talk coming out between the teams. Keeps the morale going, you know.
Wriggle. That rally at the end really kept him in there. I don't mind a little bit of banter. I'd like to see more haymakers from Shiro and Akashi. They just love to get at each other. And if you look at the stats, Shiro this game, 16 final blows. Like you said, he's their clutch player.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like to, including myself sometimes, I will admit, like to discount Shiro. But you know, as he's showing here, you know, you don't focus him, he will not be denied.
Very true. And it looks like they're pulling out the Bastion on attack too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been roasted here, roasted for my Dallas missed calls. I'm sorry. Apologize, Chicago.
Hey,
Love you guys.
Could be worse. I casted with my friend Caleb, and he called Violet Akuma Violent Panda since he's a Rocket League player, and there was
True,
a panda on the other team. So.
To be fair, Violet Akuma is also a Rocket League player, not a bad one. So you know, no harm, no foul.
I did not know that.
Yep. There we go, though. We're seeing the Sim, interestingly enough. Not something that I was expecting to see, but You know, Sim on defense, those turrets stay up, your team stays down.
And it's a great play into Arista. That being melts, especially through that E and even the shift. But they catch him out. He's out in the corner, no heals. Little poor positioning gets him caught off. Same with the Mercy. Just
Fantastic sleep.
Looks like Syndicate's coming out. It's so sad to see with the anti that noise.
I mean, that was, you know, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Crystal has been making lanes here for Utah over and over and over again. And I'm going to be honest, I think that anti and sleep before are overall, you know, though, if they can capitalize on those kinds of plays and really push on them, I think Chicago's going to suffer and suffer rather greatly. I mean, they do not have the Kiriko right now. They don't have something to counter that. You know, that a good anti is absolutely devastating against this comp.
A singular nade almost turned out the fight. If Shiro didn't get 4 there, it could have been a different story.
Absolutely, yeah.
And these walls have been huge.
I mean, yeah, Chris has been doing great. May has been, you know, as we predicted before, a great pick here on King's Row. And especially, I think we're going to see it again here on Point B as he does get taken out by Crystal.
Genji Mercy front. I'm surprised they're opting to push in here with no tank.
I mean, they are. Technically, though, as the saying does go, I mean, they do have a Bastion, and Bastion did have a tank form once upon a time. Great Alari out there from Su Jr. Are these going to be able to get any explosions?
That Mercy
Sadly,
ult is
no.
also clutch, keeping everybody up so they can't be killed by it.
Absolutely, and there is the Blizzard with a pick on Melt coming out of it. Chris making his presence known once again. But Akuma securing another res.
Blade coming in, massive,
And
both supports.
Yep, there comes the Blade, and Akashi's going to get 3, and that's going to be a team wipe for Utah. Fantastic play there by Utah. Akashi on that trademark Genji. That is I mean, he achieved, I believe, Masters on console with that. And I've seen his Genji gameplay. It is rather good. I mean, if they aren't able to put a stop to that, that could really shut down this push for them.
Could be scary, and they really needed that fight. As much as the other team held them at this point, they really need it here.
I mean, Chris is playing that Mei. I think, you know, it is something that he's been able to hold on to, but with the Bastion pressure that's been put out in the antes, I mean, as I said, I don't know whether Chicago's going to be able to push it through on this one.
Their res is honestly probably the biggest winner of all these fights. Every fight, it seems Syndicate's losing 2, and Craze loses 1, and then it just gets raised.
I mean, it is true. Violet Akuma does make sure that, you know, full team is there, but I mean, oh my god,
Massive Alari.
incredible
Pops
ult.
the Genji,
Absolutely
pops the bird.
incredible ult.
Just beautiful play.
That is that, you know, the Alari does come out and the Alari does work as
And the
we have
Blizzard
seen
is
many
beautiful
times in a
daggers.
full 3-man Blizzard.
And
Beautiful play there by Chris.
Great play.
Absolutely amazing Blizzard.
I mean, that Blizzard makes it so they can't contest it all. They're gonna have to play for 3rd point with like 3.5 minutes. And they have to push it 40 meters.
It's going to be tough, but I don't think we're going to be able to see another team fight here before this payload makes it into point C. They're going to try to push him off of it, but I don't think that's going to come in time. There it is.
Like I said, 3.5. It's just tough. And that Mei is caught off, and the wall almost saves her.
A bit of an overextend there from Chris. He's going to get punished for it by Janitor.
And if Craze doesn't push in here, that's scary.
And they finally managed to get that Alari pylon down. Chicago would do well here to push back a little bit as Akashi goes in with a Nano Blade.
Imo keeps everybody up there almost.
They had a fantastic double there from Shiro, but had a triple actually.
Burb getting
They're cleaning it up.
Let's play. Now it's a 2v3. Or Well, now it's 2v1s.
And I mean, Sue and Chris over here with the hero play, with the Blizzard coming out,
Blizzard.
and it looks like they might
Massive
be able to push this payload in.
Takashi at least alive, and allows them to get the pick on Chris.
Oh, and the
And
3-man
another
Alariel.
Alariel
Devastating.
is
Double
massive.
kill.
And
And
very
that is-
well played by Syndicate there.
Absolutely. Chicago manages to secure King Zero, making it 1-1 in the series. As I said, I'm absolutely seeing a possible Game 5 series here. Akashi with play of the game the second time, but I mean, this is far more evenly stacked than a lot of people might have initially thought.
Very true. Just as you said last game, Shiro has been putting in a shift. Chris with a K with his walls is Syndicate's coming together and they're playing well as a team.
I don't necessarily know whether it was wise for Melt to 1v1 Shiro today. I think it might have inspired him here to bring his A game, because I mean he is making absolutely difference maker plays. But I'm gonna be honest, it's not a solo carry from Shiro, right? We're seeing great plays coming out from Chris with a K here on that Bay. I mean, a wise choice, and he's really been doing wonders for him with those with a lot of his plays.
The Olari ults as well. 3 huge ults, team fight wins. Just fantastic play all around.
True. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It is refreshing to see that there's this whole stigma in Emerald against Akashi for not belonging here in Emerald and all that. But funnily enough, I mean, it is not entirely the Akashi show right now. I mean, he's here, he's putting in work, but we're seeing some amazing plays and almost carries from other members of not just the other team but his own as well, with Akuma and Burb playing fantastically throughout this.
Very true here. And so that was hybrid. So we're looking at payload now. So I think imagining here what maps they'll pick. It'll be Melt's team that chooses, and I'm trying to think what map would benefit them most, based off Akashi's been playing Soldier mostly, and Melt's been on Reaper and Bastion, and both teams just run Orisa. I I do not like this map, but I imagine Shambali might be on the list there.
I would absolutely hate to see there's a few maps that I wouldn't be particularly interested in seeing. I'm gonna be honest. I hate Shambali Monastery Point
It's
B.
not a great
It
one.
is terrible. Not a fan of that map.
Bring back Hanamura.
Bring back True. Bring back. For
Such
what
a
everybody
great map.
says about the OG 2CP maps, I have not heard a single person say that they did not find Hanamura to be one of the most beautiful maps, that just aesthetic wise, that the Overwatch team has ever released.
It's the cherry blossoms. I really
is,
hope
yeah.
that they bring that back to, say, another map that they make in the future, even if it's not going to be Hanamura coming back.
It's not just that. It's the fact that you had the fantastic Shimada brother lore on that map, right? I mean, in my opinion, that OG Genji Hanzo cinematic was, I mean, it has probably millions, if not over 10 million views on YouTube or something like that. It was masterfully made.
Now, I could also see a Circuit or Junkertown coming out, and the Akashi Widow coming out again. He played a decent bit on King's Row, and if they're gonna put their trust in Akashi, what best map for it?
I mean, Akashi's a Genji specialist. I've seen him, I've watched VODs of his, I've seen him play, and I'm gonna be honest, any map that favors Genji, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's a Genji specialist. It's his hero. you know, whatever map favors Genji will favor Akashi. That's pretty much all there is to it. And yeah, and as we've heard from Ruby players before, here in Emerald, you know, Genji is absolutely a viable pick. I
I've heard that from Mel. Now, the
Boy.
Alari is a very fun character.
I mean, I know that that our viewers here haven't heard this, but Lank is here in the booth with us. Can't hear him at the moment, but he has informed us there's a chance that we might see Akashi on the Alari, which is a strat that has actually been showing up
Arriving at watch
in a
point
number of
Charlotte.
different places in pro play with good DPS, top tier DPS players being put on the Alari due to the amount of impact that she just purely has, even post nerf. So I mean,
You can't go wrong with the 2-tap headshot.
listen, it's not a meme. It's not a meme. You can treat it as a meme all you'd like, but it's not. I mean,
Reality.
Alari's broken, and that's all there is to it.
I speak firsthand. My team lost to an Alari.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you know, I don't know if you saw Adbon in the chat last night, but or 2 nights ago, whatever it was, but he was not happy. Alari is no joke and not to be messed with.
Safety's off.
And it looks like Lank's intel was good. There's Akashi on the Alari. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if have we seen this before? Does anyone know?
Or maybe it's
No.
just that
I
I've
mean,
never seen this
I don't think in
empty.
previous matches Alari was allowed. I think it was just a playoff thing.
I'm gonna have to ask here because I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
have we seen any Alari DPS players in Ruby yet, by any chance? We haven't seen it in Ruby apparently, so this is a first here, not just for Emerald, but for the entirety of UR Overwatch. A DPS player on the Alari. Let's see how Akashi does.
I'll see this through, no matter what.
First point on this map is definitely my favorite. The amount of high ground, different positions you can take, and rotations you can make just make the map so fun. But
Absolutely.
being on the low ground is not so fun.
No, as Chris with a K did just find out. I mean, Chicago is down one, and Utah's, the moment you can get into that little kind of under passage there, as long as you can make it out on the other side just fine, Utah might be able to secure this point A on attack.
The wall didn't come out right. I know what they were looking for, to wall everybody off up top so that they could transition into server room. But honestly, getting the pick on the Orisa and then rotating back around through server to come pick the
They
Orisa.
have shut themselves off for point. That's it. Look at that. I mean, 3 Chicago
Didn't
players
even have to kill everyone.
trapped behind Utah, unable to make it to point. And that's going to be point A for Utah here on the attack.
It's a beautiful play. And we're talking a bunch about Alari and Akashi, but I mean, Burb got a pick there too. I mean,
As I said on King's Row, Burb makes plays. We haven't seen much of a contest here due to that wipe on point A. I mean, Chicago is really only able to contest middle end right here of point B. I mean, literally at the very end. Are they going to be able to stop this rule?
and Alari ult from the back. Helava gets a pick on the Orisa. Bash is locked off by himself with low health. And it's just, they rolled. They kept going through first with the ults they had.
It is the Utah show here. They have smoked past points A and B, and moving here into C. I mean, Chicago has got to be asking themselves, what can they do to get back into this game?
Craze is using a very good amount of high ground. We saw, even though he got picked, Melt going on the flank up top on second point. And
I mean, we're seeing either just, frankly, in my opinion, just a Utah steamroll. But I mean, the moment they can get a regroup, maybe a high ground or something right here for Chicago, you know, they might be able to get it, but that Alari pylon stays up and then melts, and, you know, Crystal and Kiriko just took the high ground.
That pylon just stayed alive the whole fight, and everybody's getting past beam from it. It's just so good.
True, I mean,
Very good on the tank for pushing up enough to keep people from flanking and killing it.
sure, I mean, sadly, I'm watching this Alari pylon stay up for years longer than it should. It is, I mean, on the one hand, great positioning on it from Akashi. On the other hand, I mean, nobody's been taking it down.
Oh. Saus has been clutch with his Ilario, so he's able to pick Akashi there. Chris with a K in the backline picks another, trap the Orisa, and it looks like a cleanup fight for Syndicate.
True. Chicago finally managing to put themselves back into this and not getting completely swept here. Oh, good King. Crystal manages to get the incredible pick on Chris and just TP right out. Oh, that's a...
And guess who we get to see again? Shiro back on the Torbjorn.
True, that is a
Always a
nasty
treat.
pick there on the Kiriko. Here we go. Back into it again. 3:41 left.
Huge wall, blocks both the DPS off. Allows Alari in the backline. But the Orisa, huge play, eats it.
Bang! Absolutely massive play.
Just huge.
And it looks like Utah's going to be able to secure it.
Akashi gets 3 on that Alari, and Janitor nabs the other 2, and it's just a cleanup.
You know, that's what we have been seeing in pro play, that, you know, frankly, Alari ult, even after they sized it down, has a nasty tendency to just get eaten, right? Just get eaten, shut down, doesn't work, whatever it might be. I mean, Akashi claiming that he loves this hero, I can see why.
It's just so good right now. And then, honestly, I've seen a lot of play with D.Va solely for the purpose of diving down the pylon, and then alluding to that thing where you're talking about the Alari ult could also eat that.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is that having your Alari pylon up is almost like having to play against a second player, you know? And Utah isn't out of spawn yet. Have we maybe had a misplay of some sort? Oh, no, my bad. I totally did not look at the right screen. That is my bad.
Just as cute as before.
Sorry about that.
Joke right on the high ground on first
Yeah.
point. Scary. Can't go up the high ground on the left, and it's just
Systems online. Weapons ready.
I mean, they do have melt for the hit scan here, but what is this? Hell of a BMing the spawn door is there. A little bit of a Junkrat trap. I don't know what he's gonna do with that. There's nobody up there.
That's unfortunate for him. And it's that pylon. It's in a place where it can't get killed unless you have like a Sombra or a Tracer. It's just so good. So good.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the best spot right there for it, in my opinion, when you're pushing around this first point, right on the back of those canisters or whatever they are.
You can reach in that sonic boom in his main too.
Oh yeah. Doge getting pushed off of the high ground. But Chicago managing to make it into the underpass.
Janitor dropping by himself. Oh, Healer was able to make it around the other side, so he's safe. That could have been really scary.
True, but Utah not making the same mistake here. I mean, they're grouped up, you know, and I think that's going to allow them to hold them here in the underpass and finish off the Orisa in the side room. There it is.
Yep. And the Orisa stagger. Just another 10 seconds. They gotta wait.
I mean, every single moment here counts, and counts for a lot for Chicago, because I mean, they don't have forever. They absolutely don't. They're competing heavily with a very, very big time benefit, right?
They're doing what I would do. Syndicate pushing in really quick since they got that Alari pick on. Shiro got the Alari instantly before the fights even happened.
Yeah, I mean, that Alari, Akashi's been getting some great positioning on that Alari pylon, making sure that his team has almost constant access to it. And I haven't seen there being, you know, a lot of effort to try and pick it, I say, as it goes down.
They may have committed a national for it, but maybe it's worth it. Because, like you said, with the other, it's like having an additional player. It's just also on a 10-second cooldown.
True, yeah, that player respawns and rejoins your team way quicker. And hell of a great with a great pick on Shiro.
Taking out Immo as well there too. And the pylon, just amazing play by Elevate.
Yeah, they do manage to get him off. Big ult there from Zeus. That's I think a 4-man Alari play.
But it results in no one except the pylon.
I know. I take back everything I said. The pylon dies. If nothing else, the pylon dies. That's ultimately what matters here.
Another crazy pylon placement.
True.
People are pushing under a lot.
And Chicago just seems to be trying to play back and poke. I don't think it's gonna work out there. Oh no. Helleva's just he's been owning this high ground up until that point.
He's playing phenomenal.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? As long as he gets that one pick. I mean, frankly, he'll be back just about as fast as, you know, the person he picked is.
He's got 2 bombs to jump back.
Yeah, what does Bap have?
He can jump. Really high.
There it is, though. Chicago pushing through, and are they going to be able to take this high ground away from Utah?
And the Basha gets trapped there. And now they have Visor on night.
Sure, I mean, hell of a behind
Just
again, manages to get the pick
all
on
the value.
What is this?
Iron. Looks like Tire got caught in the wall, and then
yeah.
They get the Mace Dagger anyways, and now they're gonna have to go into the final fight with 4 people.
I mean, I think this is the end of this here. They've only really got 10 seconds here. I mean, Shiro's gonna try and contest on the Tracer, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do it.
Already baits out recall. Standing still, spraying.
I mean, it's
not looking great.
Standing still, spraying or not. I mean, Melt has his whole team, and that's gonna be Gibraltar. That's 2-1 in the series there in the favor of Utah.
And maybe it was the Akashi Alari, but they looked dominant in that game.
I mean, as I said, it is that massive value off of Pylon, and the fact that Chicago just did not manage to get a good regroup and a good push going here on them. Really more than what? I mean, we had a bit of a push there on point A, and then a nice hold for a little bit there on point C. I mean, that's really all they've had so far. Otherwise, it's been a complete rout in the favor of Utah.
Is the new map in the roll?
That is a good question, Lank.
Oh, thank God.
Beautiful.
That map is trash.
To all of our viewers, we got great news. Flashpoint will not be featuring here in this playoff match. Or Lank, can we get a confirmation in no playoff matches? No playoff matches. You will have to suffer next season, though, unless they take it out like they did 2CP, which we all hope they do.
it's worse than push.
Overwatch League rules here for Overwatch League level players here in Emerald. In fact, if you don't know, I mean, United Rogue Overwatch will be coming out with a new system here for salaries. Now, what'll happen is once you reach 500 salary, you'll be reincarnated back into Bronze 5, and will rejoin Emerald after getting out of Ruby. So, in that way, we, like reincarnation, we'll have a constant flow of players through the leagues.
And that's some great stuff there. I really hope to see top 500 players in Bronze. I mean, see DeFran. It's fun to watch.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, honestly, I have really enjoyed watching this series with the amount of plays that we've been seeing coming out. If I'm going to be totally transparent, and probably a bit of a caster's curse here, I have been favoring Chicago through this. got a little bit of a rivalry here going with Melt.
That's very
And I mean, my team MCV will be facing off against Dallas. There you go. That's why they're another reason they're on my mind.
very fun.
Here immediately after this here on United Rogue Overwatch here on Twitch. But I do want to see Chicago at least have a bit of a comeback, and they're actually going to make a substitution. It looks like.
Swapping out Chris with a K.
I don't necessarily know if that's the play here. I mean, I don't maybe things weren't working out so well in Gibraltar there, but he was making some really fantastic plays on Kings Row. But it looks like Chris with a K here for Chicago will be dropping out on DPS in favor of Kamani.
And they have to play in Coliseum after that. And I know you're talking about bias and everything, but I have a friend on each team, so I can't be biased here.
That's totally fair. I mean, I will say I'm new to the league. I've only been here for what, less than a month now.
Yeah, Mel is a
I
bit
came in
liberal,
halfway through the
I can tell you
season.
that.
Yeah. Akashi's apparently not ready. We're hoping there's no system issues there, Akashi. Come on.
Computer
The all
died.
caps no coming out from Akashi. But what do you think we're gonna see here on Oh, and we have Utah here actually asking for a timeout. Um, something may have happened. Lank has come through with a 5-minute timeout here for our match. Giving us a little bit of time to talk. What do you think? What do you think about Coliseo here? What do you think we're gonna see? What do you think
Oh,
we're not gonna see?
more interesting. I
What do
haven't
you like? What
looked
do you
at
hate?
what Kamani plays. I don't know if are they bringing in a tank? Oh, support. Oh, so it looks like one of the support players is either moving to DPS or in Doja staying tank, or but
Yeah,
either way, it seems
let's
someone
take a
else gets
look.
to try a DPS.
I mean, that's a rather big switch up to be making mid-series here for Chicago, but they I mean, they can't afford to make any mistakes. They lose this series, they lose it all. So, I mean, it's a dog eat
Very,
dog world out there.
but if it pays off, then it's a great swap. But
True, I'm sure
very,
Chris will be
very
cheering
risky,
him on no matter what.
I'm sure.
Let me take a look here. What is the shift going to be here as far as roles go for Chicago?
I could see it. I mean, he was
Yeah.
playing the Alari. I could imagine him playing a hit scan.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to see I think we're going to see Seuss on DPS. Which is, in my opinion, I think that's going to be a loss to some extent for Chicago because Seuss has been coming out with some fantastic Alari plays so far this
Very
series.
clutch.
I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping this change pays off for them. I'm wishing them all the best, but that is a massive loss.
Arriving
Let's see how
at
they do.
Coliseo.
We get to see.
There we
Initiating
go, and
match.
here we have it. Finally, a
And
bit of push.
if Violet's coming back in as well, I imagine that Akashi's going back onto his favorite Genji, or who knows?
I mean, frankly, I'll be 100% honest. I hate all push maps. So, not that I don't like the aesthetics. I love the aesthetics of these maps. It's not that. It's just that I hate the robot.
It's quite
It said some things about me. I do hate Jonathan be pushing. Uh, is that the official name of the robot? Please tell
Ready
me.
for battle.
Please tell me the completely official name
the
of
arm.
the Overwatch League push bot is Jonathan be pushing. That would absolutely make my day.
And if
Um,
not, then Link just named it, so they should definitely take it at Overwatch League.
true. I mean, is this our timeout here? Is this our 5 minute? Oh, we just have one drop.
See?
Okay. Was this our timeout or was that our time or what's going on here?
Now, I find this very funny. The Shira's asking if he fell asleep because the one game that they lost is due to a forfeit because Melt fell asleep through the series.
Oh no. Oh no. Melt, wake up. Melt's internet went out. Oh man.
It wasn't his eyelids, just the internet this time.
The stars are aligning here against the Utah team. I don't know. Akashi's losing his best DPS bud there.
Mhm. And like I said, South picking up the hit scan. He's on Soldier this game, it seems. And Kamani's on that Kiriko.
Yeah, but I mean honestly, what we just had a big moment. Shiro has accused Utah here of lag switching. I think no small accusation. I mean these are massive accusations, like for your one of your League Ops members to be making against a completely innocent player.
1. Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
Lank, in case nobody heard that, Lank pleads the fifth. And here we go. We are underway here on Coliseo. Both teams. I mean, Utah looking to secure it, and Chicago looking to defend it. That is the purpose of this map. It's going to be huge here for Chicago. They need this win.
If I'm not wrong, we haven't seen any Lucio play yet. So I wonder how
No,
they're gonna
no,
use this.
Lucio unwanted and unloved.
Flanking Reaper on the Bastion pops him.
Yep,
Quite
Akasha
unfortunate
manages
for
to
Hero.
take out
So
Shiro.
Livius, unfortunately. Kamani's getting chased.
You know what I really hate seeing here? Or really love seeing is just another Orisa here, you know? I'm telling you, this has been
I mean,
a
that
series
50%
and
rename
they're not stopping now.
ridiculous.
The enemy has surpassed us.
Yeah, but Utah taking this here at the very beginning. Chicago just being pushed back into their own half.
The flanking Reaper is not punished again for being by himself. Takes the
True.
Lucio.
As we said before, Lucio's unloved, and Akashi's going to take the high ground here as the Kiriko ult comes out from Chicago.
Look, the Reaper's going again on the bench. And picks him. Now it's just cleanup crew time.
They do, and I mean this is dangerous. This is very dangerous here for Chicago. They have to get this back. They have to regroup, get it back, and calm those nerves. Because I mean, we've almost got half a complete push here from Utah, and we're barely into this game.
Forward spawn active.
It's, I mean, the thing they need to do here is look out for where that Reaper's flanking and punish him. And he's capitalized on them not looking at him, and it's just, I mean, they're already at the half.
Absolutely. I mean, Chicago needs to avoid that Orisa and push into that back line. As Janitor just manages to hold their attention as the Moira ult comes out.
And Syndicate doing a great job there. They realize the Orisa's out of position. Everybody run at her, and it just works.
Yep, and a fantastic push here. Akashi, those circles right around. And an ult. Oh, and
a
it's
hero
shut down.
play.
Oh no, massive loss of Death Blossom there from Akashi. But
Booma pulls out two at the end, so it makes it a little easier for the fight back.
yeah, I don't know what Utah's doing here. Janitor and Violet Akuma pushing by themselves into Chicago here. Chicago capitalizes on this.
They could have waited a little bit and they have the 5v3, but now they just have to take the full 5v5 again.
Yep. And Utah's been waiting with a lot of ults, but they're gonna get taken out first. 2 down.
And Syndicate really needed that win. They didn't push
Absolutely.
them on at all.
Yep, that is a team kill for them. And they're now gonna get that momentum that they so badly needed.
If they're able to roll their support ults, their Kiriko into the beat, I mean, they're looking at maybe they get halfway too.
I mean, we're
An early Kiriko into the visor.
Oh my
Fear
goodness.
by Doge keeps the soldier from being on top for a second. And gets him
Absolutely
big.
huge.
Big play by
Amazing play there. Amazing play by Doge on the Orisa, denying them that Kiriko and Kiriko combo. But Utah's gonna secure that point anyways. I mean, Chicago had that momentary spark of greatness. Are they gonna be able to get it back?
Looks like Itachi switches over to the Soldier. Wasn't feeling the Reaper anymore. And no swaps on the other side.
No, and it looks like Chicago's comfortable with their strat. They might be thinking that if they solidify the team play a little bit, they might be able to take the game.
It's a beautiful Bastion peak there. I love that. And
Absolutely,
they're
a bit of
trapping
pressure.
all players in the low ground. And a clutch beat to keep everyone alive. They really need to win this fight.
True, but Doge not going to be able to get anyone with that ult.
Pick on Bird.
And Chicago
and
with 2 picks, 3 picks.
Doge again there, clutch. Just, I mean, he kills the ulting Soldier with a spear, and it's just, he's clutch this game. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. He's just playing phenomenal.
And it's Violet Akuma and Janitor v3, but Akuma gets taken out, and Janitor is going to go down as well. Chicago just manages to edge that one out.
And now they're looking at ults coming in. I mean, they're gonna have Kiriko Visor, they're gonna have Dash and ult, and the other side's only gonna have Kiriko. I mean, they're looking here to roll this fight into the halfway point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to look very nasty, but Violet Akuma with a pick there on Zeus Jr. The Bastion ult in return. No picks.
I love how Janitor can shift and take 3 Bastion ult shots. I cannot feel it. I love Orisa.
Orisa is currently just immortal. It's the reason we keep seeing her. It's the reason she's considered so good right now.
And that pick on the Bastion is huge because I'm sure they're planning that Kiriko to be with that Bastion. And that shift is ridiculous with it.
And sadly, that Kiriko ult was in their own back line. They weren't able to put it in theirs and be able to push up a little bit. Zeus, though, is going to ult on Melt, and Melt's going to get taken down.
Clean them up, and now they have an off-angle Soldier, and they're up 1 in the fight. I mean, it's looking good for them.
Yeah, I think we might see Janitor go down. He does.
Kimura's got no fade, and she's on point.
Yep, and Chicago's broken through here with roughly 3 minutes left.
Claiming those staggers is huge because now the bot's pushing and the other team has to wait for the rest of their team. And not only that, Syndicate can grab high ground now. They're able to push up those stairs and Souse is on the other side high ground. It's just looking great for them now.
Yep, as long as they stay with an LOS of that Kiriko, they'll have all the healing they need.
Looks like they opt to push the solo Kiriko on point with Soldier.
I mean, yeah, that overclock from Akashi is going to take out Shiro.
It is a treat. It sounds very clutch on that Soldier. He's gotten multiple picks this fight.
They're even in the fight right now. Who's going to be able to take it? It looks like Utah might be able to edge this one out. But Chicago do have the point.
They both have the full health Orisa, so it depends on who can target the other healers first.
Oh, they do almost manage to make it out, but Kamani gets taken down. And I think that's going to be the end for the Chicago push.
Claiming the robot.
But the good thing for Craze is that they kept Syndicate from getting short spawned there. They're gonna have to take a whole nother fight and then it'll pause.
Yeah, I'm only sensing 2 to 3 more team fights in this whole thing, if that. And then that'll be the map.
They have Visor. Let's see if they opt to use it here. And they do. Double Visor.
They do.
But they have Kiriko next to others.
They do. They have the Kiriko ult. That can be a huge difference maker in a fight. But they're not getting any. Oh, they finally got the pick.
It's surprising the Zargi squad doesn't focus the Orisa down. I feel like that was the whole purpose. But allows the Orisa to get in the backline and kill the Bastion, and it's clean up through.
Yeah, it's just a Utah show after that. full team wipe there for Utah, and Chicago's really going to only have one team fight left here. I mean, this is getting very close here.
Since they got all those late staggers, they're already on the high ground. They're on bridge. It's not looking great for Syndicate here. They're going to need to win at least 3 team fights to get back up.
Yeah, I mean, it is do or die right now for Chicago, and they do. They can take down Akashi.
He gets the and you hate to see it for Syndicate.
That's a heartbreak. That is an absolute heartbreak here for Chicago as Utah manages to push through, and that will likely be the map here. They've got probably one more team fight here just for the very end, but that is it. Can Chicago hold out?
Shim coming out. Shouse gets a huge pick on the Moira. They do trade their Kiriko for it, and then Arissa's gone too. But now they have to worry about
take it
keeping on
back.
the bot. They have to 3v3 wall following the bot. This is a tough
They
thing.
do. This is where a lot of games can just end.
The good thing
Shira
is
gets taken down. It is true, and they do have 3. It is possible for them to win this team fight.
It's like a melt swap on the Tracer to get everybody back in. That's
No.
The Zarya ult comes out getting
That mistake on the grab could cost them the game. And Akashi comes in, and that is the
He
end
just
of
played
it.
it last fight. And it's
That will be the end of it, and Utah takes the series 3-1. Congratulations to the Utah Craze, moving on here to the Emerald League Finals.
I mean, phenomenal series. I mean, the first 2 maps were